it's Tara and it's time for Sunday Reads. This week I read 4 books. I read Simply Irresistible by Jill Shalvis and the 3 books in the Harper Trilogy by McCaffrey, Dragonsong, Dragonsinger, and Dragondrums. So Janet today in Jen's library recommended the contemporary romance Simply Irresistible. It's part of the Lucky Harper series. It's the first book in the Lucky Harper series, and it's about a trio of sisters whose estranged mother has passed away and left a rundown inn in a place called Lucky Harper. And the 3 sisters all have different dads, and they were raised, one of them, Maddie, was raised separately, and 2, Tara and Chloe, were sort of raised together. But they haven't really kept up much. And Maddie's life is falling apart, and she just wants a family. She wants her family. So she really wants to make this inn work. Her sisters want to sell the inn, and she wants to run the inn with them and, become a big happy family and all that jazz. So this is about how they do that. I was really interested in that part of the story. Now, I did say it was a romance, so of course there's a guy. His name is Jax McCullen, and he is gorgeous, of course, and he has a dark past, but, he really has decided to start over, and he's generally a good guy, and she has sworn off men because her ex-boyfriend was abusive, and she just wants to find herself, but of course she falls head over heels for Jax. And this was the part of the story I just wanted nothing to do with. Coming out of an abusive relationship, even though it was lately abusive, I just can't see her falling as quickly as she did. And the whole thing had that forbidden vibe because she had sworn off men, and I feel like, I don't know, it was a problem for me, so I didn't really like that part. I didn't really like the romance very much. I did like that he was supportive of her, but I didn't like he was supportive, but not really. She had sworn off men, but he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. He's like, oh, I'm helping, I'll step back and I'll respect your decisions and things like that, but then he doesn't, and that really bothered me a lot. And of course, it was a romance, so there was a lot of sexy time scenes, and I found myself just sort of racing through them. I mean, they were good. If you like sexy scenes, then they were really good, but I felt like there was one every 10 pages or so it kind of got old after the first couple. But yeah, I really like the story of the family, and I probably won't continue the series, but I kind of want to because I want to see what happens with the 3 girls. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. And one of my childhood favorite series is the Pern series by Anne McCaffrey, Dragon Riders of Pern, and I think I found this series when I was a teenager, but I just really fell in love with it, and I read all of the books, and I fell in love with the characters, and it's a series I often reread books from because they're definite comfort reads. It's so easy to fall back into those stories and the worlds and remember all of the little details. And Rachel at Colonati and I reread the trilogy together sort of loosely, basically just we're reading it, do you remember this part, stuff like that. And it's been a lot of fun, going back over that with her because she loves the series just as much as I do, if not more. And yeah, it's been a good time. There are definitely some downsides to the series as far as some issues with some non-consensual sex and maybe some gender issues and things like that. But I do think that for the time, McCaffrey was doing a pretty good job of trying to equalize genders and things like that. For the most part, not always doing a great job, but so I won't say it's a perfect series, but if you grew up with the series, then it's interesting to watch how your opinions change when you reread these things, and stuff that I totally missed a long time ago. Now I'm like, what is going on? This is not cool. And some things I'm more understanding of because obviously I've had some experience now, and I sort of understand how relationships go and how the world works and things like that. So yeah, I'm saying things like that a lot today. That must be my phrase. So anyways, that's what I read this week, and I really enjoyed it. Tomorrow I will be starting The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin with Paul at Come and Touch a Fantasy. I am super excited. This is my first N.K. Jemisin novel, and I love reading with Paul, so it should be a good time. and I'm reading The Singular and Extraordinary Adventures of Mirror and Goliath by Ishbelle Bee. I'm not really impressed with it so far. It's about a young girl, Mirror, who was trapped in a clock by her grandfather. And her grandfather trapped her in the clock and her sisters in like coffins, and her sisters died, and she was nearly dead when Goliath, a police officer, broke her out of the clock, and he vowed from that day forward to protect her. But something happened to Mira while she was in that clock, and now she is trying to find out what's going on with her, and Goliath is taking her around and trying to figure that out. It is sort of, it's set in Victorian London, and it's very atmospheric, and I like a lot of the language that's used, but it feels like it's written by a sort of decently talented high schooler right now, is sort of the vibe I'm getting. It's a little bit overly descriptive at times and goes through a lot of things without any explanation. Some actions are just really like, what? I don't know what's happening. It feels a little bit like a dream, like where things happen but they don't make any sense. And like, I don't know, maybe they will make sense later. I'm waiting to see what happens, but yeah, I'm not sure that I would continue the series after I finish this one, but we'll see. I'm only like 35% through, so I will be finishing that this week. Last week my concert was awesome. Insert picture here. I had such a great time. It was a good show. I forgot for a moment that I should not be in the middle area at a punk show. Usually I went to see Jellyfish Flowers, and they don't usually have like a mosh area, or the crowd doesn't usually get really riled up, but it was a one-man show, so it was just them, so it was the whole place filled with Jellyfish Flowers fans. And there were some points where, you know, there was crowd surfing and stuff like that, so I got knocked around a little bit. My glasses got a little, but I moved to the side, and it was so good. And afterwards they decided to sign some things, so I went around and I got a t-shirt signed, and they were really surprised that I was wearing a My Hair Is Bad shirt. That's one of the bands that was on the same label as them. They recently went to a new label, and they were like, whoa, My Hair Is Bad. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, because I really should have worn their shirt, but it had like lint all over it, and I was in a rush, so it was a really, really good show, and I hope to see them again soon. Today I'm going with my friend Pippa to maybe bowling and dinner, and we're just going to catch up, and it's going to be nice. It's kind of cold and rainy out today, but it should be good. So how have your weeks been? What have you been up to? Is anything exciting happening? What are you reading? Please fill me in, and until next time.